Well, hello YouTube, Steve Pat with General Pat Bushcraft back with you, friends. Back out in the backyard, and today I'm bringing you the show notes, the recap, the season finale. I didn't even know this was the last show. Alone, season 12, episode 10, titled No Regrets. That's R-E-G-R-A-T-S. And you have to stay to the end to find out why it's spelled that way. All right, stay tuned. All right, I got the show notes to Alone Season 12, Episode 10. This is the season finale, friends. We get to pick a winner. And as you know, every show starts out with a famous quote from a famous person. And this show's quote is, quote, "It's never too late to be who you might have been," unquote. And that's from Mary Evans. Her pen name is George Eliot. All right, friends, this show's title is No Regrets, R-E-G-R-A-T-S. And the show starts out on day 27. 3:08 p.m. and goes right to Katie. She's the 45-year-old from Emerald Beach, Australia. She has a kudu right in front of her, friends. She's hunkered down in some bushes. She tries to load her bow. She drops an arrow, spooks the kudu. Her clothing gets caught on one of those 3-inch acacia spikes. All the bushes and all the plants and trees and everything are full of thorns, just like here in Arizona where I'm at. But her clothing gets tangled up and she spooks that kudu and she can't get a shot off. So she's feeling frustrated and back to camp for more veggies for dinner for Katie. All right, friends, it's day 28 now, 7:12 in the morning. The show goes over to Nathan. He's the 53-year-old from Idaho, USA, and he's putting some finishing touches on Rock House. He puts a big old kudu skull with some large horns on top of that skull up on the roof right over the entrance of the door. And that Rock House is a thing of beauty, friends. It's super square. It's beautifully built with that dry stack rock method. And he has his first cup of coffee that he makes out of some roasted and ground up buffalo thorn fruit. Now this coffee isn't caffeinated, but boy, it sure does taste good to Nathan. He decides to do some building inside of the structure, and he builds a 10-foot long bed inside a Rock House. As he cleans up the yard out in front, he had some leftover building materials, so he takes all the rock and sand and clay and dry grass and makes a nice, comfortable 10-foot long bed inside a Rock House. Okay, friends, day 28, 10:26 a.m. The show goes back over to Katie, the 45-year-old from Emerald Beach, Australia. And Katie has lost 31 pounds so far. She's feeling cold, decides to go for a little walk, and she says how tired, sick and tired she is of eating the veggies and the cabbage. And friends, 12:17 p.m., sitting and contemplating, Katie officially taps out on day 28, 12:17 p.m. All right, friends, 2 people remain. We got Kelsey, the 35-year-old from Montana, USA, and Nathan, the 53-year-old from Idaho, USA. And it's day 29, 8:43 in the morning, and the show goes over to Kelsey. Her cup of water is frozen. She shows us that frozen cup of water. It's 28 degrees. She breaks the ice on that cup of water and brushes her teeth, bundles up, and heads out for a walk. She sees 2 bush bucks, beautiful deer with stripes on them that help them blend into the environment, but no bow and arrow, as she thinks she's way too weak to pull it back. And she makes it up to her lookout rock. The sun feels good. It takes a lot of energy for her to get up to Lookout Rock, and she lets us know that she is plumb tuckered out. Okay, friends, day 30 now, 7:47 a.m. Show goes over to Nathan, the 53-year-old from Idaho, USA, and he is officially out of food. He checks both fishing lines. He's got 2 of them out there, nothing. The show says Nathan burned 22,000 calories building Rock House, and he harvests some prickly pear cactus, and he roasts off the thorns and then boils it into a mush, eats it, and he says, oh man, this stuff does not taste good, and he wants to spend the next night catfishing. Day 32 now, 3:37, and still with Nathan. He drinks some more of that coffee, that buffalo thorn fruit coffee that he's making. Remember, friends, his father wrote the book Outdoor Survival Skills, and Nathan feels a very strong conviction to do well. Nathan is doing some night fishing, and he's lost 20 pounds so far. 9:13 that night, friends, he catches a big old sharp-toothed catfish, a 4-foot long one, about 10,000 calories for that giant catfish. That thing weighs about 50 pounds. Okay, it's day 33 now, 10:13 a.m. Show goes over to Kelsey, 35-year-old from Montana, USA. She tries to take a walk. She walks about 5 minutes and she is totally exhausted. Back to the shelter. She's all bundled up. She's having a shortness of breath. Says she feels a heavy weight on her chest. Kelsey has lost 27 pounds so far, and she's sitting there laying in the sun, and she decides that she doesn't want to go out on a stretcher. She wants to go out with her boots on. So friends, day 33, Kelsey, at 3:12 p.m., Kelsey officially taps out. All right, friends, it's day 34 now, 8:13 in the morning, and the show goes over to our winner. That's Nathan, the 53-year-old from Idaho, USA. And we see him write on his, with some charcoal, he writes on a nice rock on the right side of the entrance of his rock house. He writes on there, no regrets, R-E-G-R-A-T-S, and his daughter Eliza asked him to use that name when he gets out there, so he decided to name it Fort No Regrets, and that's what he writes on Rock House. As soon as he gets done writing that, friends, the buzzer goes off on his radio, and it's a med check. And you know what that means, friends. They're coming to let him know he won. So the boat comes up with the crew, and they bring they sneak his son, Isaiah, out there. Isaiah's on the boat. Nathan doesn't know it. Isaiah sneaks up from behind, and Nathan cannot believe it, and he's our winner. 34 days in the Great Karoo in South Africa. He wins the $500,000, friends. Nathan from Idaho, USA, congratulations. But also, I'm going to give a big shout out to both of those ladies. Katie and Kelsey, they did extremely well. South Africa was a lot different than all the Alone past shows up in the Arctic and Canada. This one was South Africa. It was a desert setting, much more different terrain. So that wraps up the final episode of Alone Season 12. Nathan from Idaho, USA is our winner. So again, congratulations to Nathan. I appreciate everything you guys do for the channel, all your views, all your likes, all your shares. And I got a new Amazon storefront, friends. Check it out. I got a lot of nice gear on there, a lot of the gear that I like to use. It's well priced. You can get it flown directly to your place of residence from Amazon. So check out my link in the description below. General Pat Bushcraft Amazon storefront, brand new. So I appreciate you. All right, please don't depart from the faith. And if you haven't already, give your life to Christ, friends. Do it today. Don't wait. And as always, God is good. God is great. I see y'all on the next video. Already got a date.